In your packet, I understand that there's a list of organizations supporting the legislation, and I also want to acknowledge the ACLU for their support. But I first wanted to start by thanking my colleague Don McEachin. With Don's leadership, we've been putting this bill forward for a number of years, and I want to especially acknowledge him because we passed this legislation in the Senate before, although it's had a tougher time in the House. But we're going to press forward and make this another year that it passes the Senate. And I want to be clear what SB701 does. It writes into the code Virginia's longstanding policy against discrimination in employment, state employment, a policy that dates back more than 30 years, and would put us on record against employment discrimination in our agencies, our colleges, and our universities. No state employee should ever have reason to doubt our commitment to equal opportunity employment for all. And that's what this is about, giving state employees that assurance that they will be judged on their merits and not have to fear that it's on anything else. In 1970, Governor Holton became the first Virginia governor to issue an executive order promising state employees equal opportunity and protection from discrimination in the workplace. 35 years later, Governor Warner concluded his term by signing a broader executive order extending this protection to discrimination based on sexual orientation, a promise of opportunity that was continued in Governor Kane's first executive order when he was sworn in. Now, we seek to write these protections into the state law, and I want to be real clear. In Virginia, you can be fired for being lesbian, bisexual, gay, or transgender. There's just nothing to stop it. And real people are moving away or deciding not to come here because of our lack of protections for LGBT Virginians. That's a loss for all of us, and it's a loss that I've heard from personally from friends who don't want to come here or people who've left. It's a fundamental American value that tax-paying individuals who work hard should not be discriminated against in the workplace because of who they are. And it makes good business sense, as James said, to have non-discrimination policies. We should follow the lead of our Fortune 500 companies and neighboring jurisdictions like Maryland and DC that protect all of their citizens from discrimination in state employment. And most of our major private sector employers and 21 states, including Maryland and DC, as I said, have workplace discriminations based on sexual orientation, with 16 extending those protections to gender identity. Among the 20 of Virginia's top 25 employees that have those protections are Walmart, Capital One, Northrop Grumman, and UPS, and they all include gender identity as well. Other companies that include sexual orientation and gender identity in Virginia's, in their policies against discrimination are CarMax, General Dynamics, and Volkswagens. It's time for Virginia's government to catch up with the will of its citizens and advance these common sense protections for state employees. Thank you very much for being here today, and we look forward to talking to you again when we pass this legislation.